Would you like to 10x your client results toward achieving their goals? On today's episode, I will share 7 advanced questions and tactics to help increase your coaching results. And please stay until the end because I've thrown in a bonus question that may actually be the most powerful of all. Welcome to the Christian Coaching School podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Leelo Bush. I'm a master coach, author, curriculum creator, and the #1 authority on spirit-led Christian coaching. I've trained tens of thousands worldwide since 2003. If you're ready to up-level your skills, find greater fulfillment, and employ the most powerful coaching available to mankind, let's go. Welcome to this episode of the Christian Coaching School podcast. I am so excited that you have joined me. Thank you for taking the time to invest in yourself. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back. So here we go. It's an exciting day. You've just been hired because your client believes in their dream and in you to help them do a lot more than they could on their own. They're convinced there will be a substantial return on their time and financial investment for working with you. And now it's time for you to deliver those results. If you're a trained and certified coach, you may already be prepared with powerful questions and strategies. And if so, there's no time like right now to brush up on your skills so that you can deliver at the highest level. Our PCCCA dually certified professional life coach graduates are qualified and ready to coach clients in a variety of situations and endless specialties. And if you're just starting out, there's no time like the present to dig deep into your client's goals, motivation, vision, and related areas so that your results create happy clients and new client referrals. In your heart and mind, you see your client's vision and you are committed, or even more committed than your client, to achieving those goals. You are willing to give your client your all so that they can realize their dreams. But since it's up to your client to take the actions needed, as their coach, you must ensure that they are mentally prepared to deliver the actions that it will take. Today, I will give you 7 questions for areas to explore with each client and their process, and then I'll give you tactics to help you 10x their results potential. So here we're going to talk about the 7 ways to increase results for your coaching client. Number 1, is your client prepared to do what is needed, even if the reward seems distant? Help the client measure how far away their payoff might be. If you see your client begin to question their goal when they don't see results, you will need to help your client create some quick milestones as a way for them to measure their progress and continue to feel a sense of progress and accomplishment. Number 2, has your client already mentally stepped into their future role, one where they can see themselves in the long term? If you want something that you've never had, you'll have to do something that you've never done and begin thinking in a way that you have never thought. If your client cannot yet see themselves operating in their new role at a higher level, statistically, it's unlikely that they will take all of the actions needed. Why is this? Most likely because your client is not actually convinced that achieving this goal is possible for them. And so then it might subconsciously feel like a waste of time. You see, people don't give 100% unless they are relatively certain that they can win. If you see this as a problem for your client, do some confidence building exercises until you witness your client becoming the person who believes they will achieve their goal. Number 3, is your client so deeply passionate about this goal or activity that they would do it regardless of the time required, the financial reward, or recognition? If you're not able to discover a deep personal connection between your client and their goal, you'll need to discuss this with your client. Look for an alternative agenda or a different type of motivation that your client may have or be able to connect to. I recently spoke with a colleague and offered suggestions, as I had for years, for them to grow their practice. At the end, I had removed every excuse and obstacle they presented. I was so hopeful they would finally take action. And then the truth poured out. "Look," they told me, "I really don't want to work that hard." And for so many years, I had encouraged them time and again because they told me they wanted to grow and earn more. Maybe because they thought I expected them to say those things. And they sounded so sincere. And each time it frustrated me because I always felt more committed than them, as though I was trying to drag them to success. But because this coach is overall highly credible, I now understand that they were not trying to mislead me. They could not have expressed something they weren't willing to admit even to themselves. It wasn't until that conversation that both of us learned the truth. And there's absolutely no judgment about the truth. We are all here to serve in the capacity God gave us. We have our own unique calling, mission, and goals. So God bless this coach now that we know we can relax around this topic in the future. And number 4, has your client counted the cost? When pursuing any new opportunity, there will always be costs, including time, effort, resources, mental energy, and willpower. Has your client counted the cost, and are they willing to make the sacrifice needed? If you discover that some required actions are either delayed or not taken, look for clues that the sacrifice may be too high. And discuss this openly with your client if necessary, so that this matter can be overcome or the goal can be modified. In Luke 14, Jesus shares a number of parables. One of them is the cost of discipleship. In verse 14, Jesus asks, "For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it?" There's always a cost, whether it's time, money, focus, or energy. So it's important for you to coach your client on what it will take to complete their goal. You can make a checklist and have your client rate themselves 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest in each category. Those items with the lowest score should receive the greatest attention from you and your client. Number 5, does your client believe that achieving this goal will provide them some sort of tangible life payoff? By this I mean, does the client see that they will get something beneficial in life out of completing this goal? Benefits could include new skills, money, God's approval, improved relationships, internal fulfillment, knowledge, and so forth. It's helpful to discuss with the client at periodic intervals what benefits they are receiving. Those who have been coaching with the models I teach know that God does not just feed the client. He feeds both the client and the coach in the relationship. Everyone benefits. As you debrief from your coaching sessions, this should become clear to both parties. Number 6, what sort of external support systems are available to your client? Are there colleagues, friends, or family members who will encourage the client to keep going if they get discouraged? Is there a deep-rooted faith that will sustain them? If these do not yet exist, help your client brainstorm and develop external support systems to sustain them during any difficult times. And there are bound to be some difficult times in the process. Number 7, does the client believe it is ultimately God's will for them to achieve this goal? Encourage your client to pray and connect with God every day for renewed strength, inspiration, and revelation. First thing in the morning, it's best to help start the day in the right frame of mind. I also give you a great exercise to help you get clear about everything God wants done in the day ahead and accomplish it without stress. Students rave over the results produced by this particular exercise in the CCLC certification course. Now here is your bonus question. Is your client a good manager of their time? We all have exactly the same amount of time each day, and we get to choose how we use it. If you keep hearing that time escapes your client, it's imperative to do some coaching on their time management skills, starting with a values assessment and prioritization. PCCCA's Foundational Coaching Certification course has an excellent values exercise for you to use. A values exercise will show you and your client whether their actions are aligned with what is most important to them. It can show you if there could be any self-sabotage involved that could delay your client. It'll show you areas where there can be undue stress and anxiety. For a smooth flow, these areas need to be aligned, and the goals should be aligned with God's plan for the client. So what are other areas that you have discovered that will increase your coaching results? Please let me know in the comments if you have experienced any of these concerns, as well as solutions you may have discovered along the way. I would love to hear your thoughts. And I'm also thankful for your prayers, because we have evidence that prayers move the hands of God. Would you like to learn more about Christian coaching from me as you join a community of sharp, like-minded go-getters? If so, I want to invite you to join my new private Facebook group called Courageous Christian Coaching Tribe. To find a link to my group, visit pccca.org/tribe. You'll also find this URL in our show notes. I can't wait to meet you and welcome you to our tribe, where you'll meet some of our old guard coaches who have been with me for over a decade, as well as some newbies and aspiring coaches. And hey, if you see the value in coaching God's way and want to add these coaching skills to your skill set, then this group is for you, and I can't wait to meet you there. So if you've enjoyed this podcast, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. This will benefit us in the search engine algorithms and help other coaches and aspiring Christian coaches like you to find us. Now go out and make this a great day. I'm Dr. Leelo Bush, and I'll meet you again in our next episode of the Christian Coaching School podcast. If you've enjoyed this podcast, you've got to join me in my free introductory coaching masterclass. I created this program so that you can experience the power of coaching and see if we're a fit to help you achieve your training and certification goals. Visit us at pccca.org/get certified. Be sure to download the worksheets after you sign in so that you don't miss a thing. Again, that's pccca.org/get certified. See you there.